Listen, not with your ears alone, but with that deeper place where memory lives before language. Because there was a time, long before borders, long before names became arguments, when the land of Kemet breathed in rhythm with the Nile, and the sky itself was understood as alive. In that time, the people of Kemet did not fear the forces of creation. They studied them, they honored them, they placed them within Ma'at, the great balance that holds all things in right relationship. They knew the gentle flow of the Nile. They knew the steady rising of Ra. They knew the warmth of life, the order of seasons, the promise of return. But beyond the green valley, beyond the black soil, there stretched the red lands, the open deserts, and further still, lands where the sky did not whisper, it roared. And from those lands, carried on wind and word and wandering caravan, came the name Baal. Pause there. Do not rush past the name. Do not carry into it the weight of later misunderstanding. Because in the beginning, Baal was not spoken with fear. He was spoken with awe. He was the voice of the storm, the crash of thunder that shakes the bones of the earth, the lightning that tears open the sky and reminds humanity that the heavens are not silent. And in the lands where rain was not promised, where the ground waited, watching, hoping, that same storm was life. Understand this. Where Kemet had the Nile, steady, faithful, flowing like a promise, other lands depended on the sudden generosity of the sky. And when Baal moved, when the clouds gathered, when thunder rolled across the mountains and valleys, the people did not say destruction is coming. They said, life is arriving. Now listen deeper, because the people of Kemet were not ignorant of power. They did not believe the universe was soft. They knew the edge of things. They knew the desert. They knew the heat. They knew the forces that test, that break, that refine. And among their own divine company was one who walked that edge. Set. Yes, Set, who moves with the storm winds. Set, who guards the boundaries. Set, who stands where order meets the unknown. Do not mistake him. He is not merely chaos. He is necessary force. He is the reminder that balance is not built on gentleness alone, but on strength that holds back what would undo creation. And so when travelers came, speaking of Baal, those who understood deeply did not recoil. They listened. They recognized something. Not sameness, no, but resonance. They heard in Baal a voice that spoke from the same realm of power, a god of storm, a god of force, a god who does not whisper life into the world, but strikes it into being. And so the wise would say, in Kemet, we know the river that nourishes. In those lands, they know the storm that awakens. And both are sacred. Because what is a storm, truly? Is it only destruction? Or is it the breaking of stillness? Is it the tearing away of stagnation? Is it the announcement that something greater is moving? When Baal rides the clouds, he does not come quietly. He comes to be known, to be felt, to be heard. And in that, there is a lesson. Because the divine does not always arrive like sunlight across calm water. Sometimes, the divine arrives like thunder. Now see this clearly. Baal is not outside creation. He is not outside order. He is a force that exists within the great fabric of existence, a force that must be understood, not rejected. Because Ma'at does not exclude power. Ma'at places it. Ma'at says, everything has its place. Everything has its role. Everything has its moment to move. And the storm has its moment. There are times when the earth grows still, too still, when life becomes stagnant, when movement ceases, when the air itself feels heavy with waiting. And then the sky darkens, the wind shifts, the pressure builds, and Baal speaks. Lightning flashes, thunder follows, and what was unmoving begins again. This is not destruction for its own sake. This is disruption in service of renewal. This is force aligned with life. This is power that restores motion to what has fallen asleep. So from a kemetic heart, a wise voice might say, do not fear the storm, learn its purpose. Because Baal is not merely the breaker, he is the bringer. He brings rain to the dry land. He brings sound to the silent sky. He brings movement to the frozen moment. He reminds humanity that the heavens are not passive, that creation is not finished, that life is not static. And so, when the people of Kemet heard of Baal, when they saw the storms roll across distant lands, when they felt the desert winds rise with sudden intensity, they could understand. Not fully, not completely, but enough to say, this too is part of the great design. Because whether through the steady gift of the Nile or the sudden gift of the storm, life continues, and the divine speaks in many forms, in many voices, through sunlight, through water, through silence, through thunder. So hear this and carry it with clarity. Baal is not the enemy of order. He is the intensity within it. He is the surge of power that reminds the world that creation is alive. And if you listen closely, even now, you can hear it. Not just in the sky, but in every moment where stillness breaks and something greater begins to move. This has been a Sharri Plaza presentation. Thank you for watching.